Oh my gosh, Joe Skeen,
Hey,
what are you doing here? That's
uh,
weird that you're here.
yeah, just throwing my computer on the desk and plugging my microphone in and joining like five seconds before this started. So, what are we doing today, Brian?
I like to give you notice. I like to have
Right.
no intro video, no explanation except a frantic, well, not a frantic text, but it was like, "Hey, wanna do some hacking stuff?" And you were nice enough to happen. But it's also like a good excuse for me. I feel like I don't get to see you and talk to you nearly as much as I want to.
Yeah,
So to maybe like put you on the spot is one technique to get together with people, online and stuff.
fair
So
enough. Fair enough.
Um, yeah, so I just got back from vacation, and as you can tell, not in work mode at all, but wanting to get back into the live stream thing because I took a week off, which I'm sure many people, namely my mom, was sad about. But I was actually with her, so she probably didn't give a rat's behind. Um, but
She's like, I can't make it today. I just got back from vacation, so you just carry on the live stream without me. See if you can get Joe to join or something.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Not to be mean, but she was my first choice, and then I was like, well, if I can't get my mom, I'll get
She
Joe.
bagged at the last minute. You're like, come on, mom,
Come on,
really?
mom, pull it together. But I really like, I was just thinking about, I did have actually some other, like, it works out the way sometimes where I'm like all ready to show something and it's not quite fully baked. So then
Mm,
I kind of punt and I'm like, oh, what else? And I was just thinking, like, of all the like stuff, we've talked about, and I've talked about in the podcast and the stream. I've shown a lot of like the light pen test lab and all that, but I don't think we've ever done one where it's like, well, let's just like sort of have fun and just hack something that where we don't already know where the bodies are buried. Now
yeah.
now with that said, what I want to, in fact, let me get my sharing going here. I'm pretty sure I know how this works. Let me know if my I'll be able to see it there. Okay, there's my little happy Callie. Okay, there's happy Callie.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I wanna poke at today, Joe, we're gonna kind of crowdsource some hacking. First step is remember the password to the Callie box. And
Yeah, I'll do
yeah,
that one.
this will pivot into how do you hard. Oh, okay. Third time's the charm. Hold on. Um, I wanted to hack something that actually had its seventh birthday today. Let me as I was trying to find out how to install Chrome on Kali because
Oh,
I
nice.
I thought it was just pre-installed. I wanted to go to Vuln Hub. Do you ever or have you recently? Do you go to good old Vuln
I,
Hub
I
anymore?
don't because when I finished my OSCP, I'm like, I never want to do this type of hacking again. So
Yeah. Well, it's
every now and
amazing.
again. Now, there was a time where I was going to hack the box a lot after my OSCP because it was fun. I enjoyed it, but I feel like now I just got too busy. But I do sometimes miss it, and I think, how can I? Do I want to do this again? But then I have nightmares of OSCP, and I'm like, nah, maybe not. But a lot of people still like tweet about it and talk about it, and talk about, I see people talking about their OSCP journey and going back to these machines, and hey, I just got this one, and this machine's great, and this one is a great practice for the OSCP prep. So I mean, I still feel like I'm kind of like aware of it in the periphery.
Yeah. Yeah, and then same here. I did a ton of these. I was just looking because I was curious, like if this is, still getting updated, and it looks like there's been a VM updated as of, you know, a year ago or so. But like, yeah, this was my bread and butter. Like getting into technical security, it was so much fun. I probably downloaded them all at some point, and then
Yeah.
would get frustrated and move on. But I feel like this at the same time, it's near and dear to my heart, but also. Uh, Frustrating and not really for anybody's fault but my own in that when I was first getting into pen testing, I thought, well, this is what every box on a network is going to look like.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
riddle wrapped in you have to fuzz everything and you're going to have to do all these crazy things that really, you may not see a ton of in the wild. And so then once I started, like corporate um, LAN side Active Directory focused pen testing, it was kind of a different gear to go into.
I think
But
that's
yeah.
interesting. Sorry, my
Oh,
little buddy
hello.
wants to join.
Hello, puppy.
He's
Hello.
my little
Hello,
hacker buddy.
puppy.
So yeah, so true. I think when I started like Vuln Hub and some of those early ones started hacking, it took a while for it to click and basically like this is teaching you skills, I guess, and skills that are sometimes not applicable to actual penetration testing and like figuring
Yeah,
that out and like where can I apply this, where can I use this. um it is an outstanding skill, but oftentimes there isn't that direct one-to-one of like this will teach you something. You know what it taught me a lot of? um just Linux command line is where it helped the most. And
oh yeah,
so I got a lot out of just learning Linux command line, learning tools. One of the frustrating things for OSCP, I think, for me was the learning how to figure out the unknown, because you land or you start fuzzing one of these boxes, like you said, and you're just like, well, how do I know that this is a abnormal thing for Linux or a normal thing or a misconfiguration? It That whole process was so exceptionally rewarding and frustrating at the same time.
100% agree. Yeah, and I so I want to just show you here. I got the itch in like 2016. Let's see.
Yeah, I was looking it up. I have it on my other screen over here. So
Yeah, I think I got my OSCP in like 2014 or something, and I had such a good time with these. I just got the bug of like, what would it be like to just boot up a vanilla like Ubuntu or something like that and make it vulnerable. And what like gave me that extra motivation is like, being able to pick a theme, right? So Tommy Boy still is one of my favorite movies. It's like, let me make up some fictional, goofy, dumb narrative to like wrap around some technical vulnerabilities so that I can kind of, yeah, teach people some hacking stuff and some Linux command line, but also make it hopefully just a little bit lighthearted. So if you're frustrated, it takes the edge off of that frustration, but also not make it so. I see some of these, you'll download and it's like, unless you are a hardcore fan of the movie Star Wars and the plot and the characters, like you won't be able to get past a challenge
right,
because it's
right.
some obscure reference. I didn't want that, but anyway, trying to strike a balance. So yeah, so this is it. So this is Tommy Boy. Yeah, created in 2016. Yeah, just coming up on about its seventh birthday, and so I thought, well, because I'm an old dog, I can still learn some new tricks. But I tell you honestly, Joe, I do remember pieces of putting this together, but I certainly can't just like download it and just go, here you go, Joe. Let me just walk through and pwn all the things. So I thought, like, why not revisit it on its
Oh,
seventh birthday and fire it up? And we'll just spend a few minutes today in this session, just seeing if we can at least make progress. Because if I remember, there are flags for this one. Um, I don't know if I specifically say that, but I thought, okay, well, maybe, maybe we can collectively. Oh, there we go. Five flags strewn about the system. Maybe we can pool our collective heads and at least get like one on the board, And then if this is fun,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
like it, if other people like it, maybe we could continue this another time. Because I don't think it's something that we can just rip through, in whatever 40 minutes. But
Not with zero preparation, especially when the download. So the first download link looks to be broken.
that was, I think, funny about that. This was, I think, my old personal Dropbox
Okay.
folder, and and this is not like any sort of this is not any sort of flex or brag, but it was funny because I submitted this link when I submitted this to Vulnhub, and once it was live on their site, I think it was like 2 3 weeks later, I got a notice from Dropbox saying that this link has had excessive activity and taken up too much bandwidth, and they like
Wanted you to
nuked.
pay for like a
Ye- yeah,
commercial or something.
yeah, it might have been that. It might have been that. So then I reached out, and I think I can't remember. It's Got Milk, I think, who did or maybe still does kind of
Oh,
run
that's
this.
right. That's
But
right.
it
Wow,
at the
talk about a blast from the past.
at the time he told me that like this download subdomain or something, I think, was hosted by like a sponsor. So they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll keep up this as the primary, and that's fine. So, um, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I saved us a little bit of time. I mean,
I hope
certainly.
so because I was just looking at my download and it'll be about
Yeah.
36
No,
minutes.
no, no, you're good to go. I got a little bit of a
Yeah.
jump start just so that we wouldn't be having too much dead air, especially if I was going to do this by myself, where I'd be
Yeah.
twiddling my thumbs. I have already downloaded it to my little test network here. I've figured out, or I've given it an IP. I'm here on my 10.0.7.x network. I've given Tommy an IP of 123, and just thrown a full kitchen sink port scan at that sucker, and it looks like we've got some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of SSH with a side order of a couple web-looking ports, and then some some gnarly way up there port hosting some unknown thing. So let me ask you, because I always love it. Oh, okay. Sorry. Quick tangent though. One thing
Wait,
that was
tangent, Brian?
what's that? Oh,
You're going on a tangent?
who
I
me? Who
I'm
me? A
shocked.
tangent? But related tangent. Let
Uh,
me follow this under the related category. I think my second favoriteest thing of just the creative and frustrating process of putting this VM together is that people can submit their own
yeah,
write-ups of this. So we can go to one of these if we need like a cheat button, but it's so fun to look at people's write-ups and see the tools, have them like walk you through their own mindset. And
right.
some go right towards like, I'm going to hit it with something like Nessus. Some go to like, I'm going to fuzz every directory on the web ports. Some do some of the nmap built-in scripting, kind of a little bit of anything and everything. But let me, not to put you on the spot, but to get some insight into Joe's mind and how
Yeah,
he worked through these. You see something like this on a Vuln Hub box. Where do you go first? Do you yeah, what port do you go after? What tools? What would be kind of your next move? Not that there's right or wrong answers, but just what pops out to you?
yeah.
What move do you do?
So I'll tell you one of the other valuable things that I think I learned going through Vuln Hubs in preparation for OSCP. Um, One of the hardest lessons that I had to learn for OSCP is that it's 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
And efficiency is paramount. Um, and so one of the, going through just like, yeah, run in map and really just take your time, you can't do that. And so I used a tool called Reconnoiter, which was kind of a kitchen sink enumeration utility. I don't know which one you used or if you just went manual, Brian. But, anyways, the other thing that I quickly learned is that more often than not, most of the vulnerabilities on the vulnerable machines that are created usually are, for starters, web based phones or RCE. So, after my enumeration process, I would have like 5 or 6 tabs open or use. I didn't love Screen, but I would use it every now and again. I know you kind of use that every now and again when you're
Yeah.
password cracking, things like that.
Yep.
I would just have, 4 or 5 tabs open, and I would have multiple enumeration scripts running as I kind of went along because time was of the essence. So, kind of a
Oh, gotcha.
long winded way because I'm trying to always tie this back to OSCP because I feel like you're learning these hacking skills, but you're also trying to be proficient at it if you're doing something like OSCP.
Gotcha.
So um,
Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
think what I would do first is just pull up the website and start poking at it. But the next thing after I started poking at it is that I would start running my Reconnoiter did all of these things for you, or helped you along in that path of enumeration.
Okay.
Um, but I like to do directory enumeration. Look for credentials in the go to the web page, do help about, look at the web page itself, look for clues because oftentimes
Yeah.
on these VMs there are clues. I see maybe one clue right away. We know it's Callahan Auto, but see Nick and IT for assistance. So that kind of stuff already just
Yeah.
stands out to me as like, I'm going to remember Nick. I don't know what
Yeah.
for at this point. Um, so do right click and view source and just see if there's anything in there. I'm gonna tell you, I have not looked at Tommy Boy
Yeah.
since you created it. Like
Yeah.
within 2 days, I think you're like, hey, look at this, and like I
Yep.
did it. It was in the time frame I think from a OSCP taking for me as well. So I recall nothing about this box. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have eureka moments as we go here because just even as we
probably
get in
very
here,
well.
I'm like, oh, I remember this. But yeah, it looks like Nick and Richard have had a little bit of comment back and forth right within the
So I
HTML
swear
here.
somebody's going to say this was totally staged, and I didn't even look at any of the cheats yet. Like
No,
this to me is just par for the course
y-
for
oh,
even early day Vulnhub machines and
yeah.
um, some of the other vulnerable machines. This was a super common path. So
Yeah. Oh, completely. Yeah. There would be things like additional text that was in white, so you wouldn't that's why I did this when we first got to that page
right,
was just to
right,
see
yeah.
that. Otherwise, yeah, looking at source, there'd often be a hash or a hint to a flag or something. Um but yeah, it looks like so it looks like Callahan Auto is having a problem. Their whole customer ordering system for brake pads is down. So uh, uh, our goal is to restore the backup copy. But yeah, I've got to see Nick. So you're right. I'd start a little. In fact, maybe I'll just do that. I'll do a little notes.txt just to go Nick. Keeping track
Oh,
of some of the
you're
artifacts.
yeah, you're making an awesome point. So I definitely had a terrible, terrible process when it came to keeping notes because that's exactly what I would do is open a notepad and like I have checklists and all these other things in OneNote that I would reference. But when it came to keeping tabs on where I was at, I would literally just run a notepad and just start putting stuff
Yep.
down. The other thing that it helped me do is like rule stuff out or remember stuff that had happened before. Like if I get 3 steps in now and I totally forgot about Nick, then it's like, oh yeah, there was that clue about Nick. I need to go back and check that out. So okay, what do we
Yeah,
got?
exactly. Yeah, that was along those same lines, kind of my strategy too. Of like, don't focus so hard on one rabbit hole, just spend all your time. Otherwise, you can't see anything else. So I would, yeah, if it was maybe oh, maybe I can brute force Nick via SSH. It's like, okay, I'll try username Nick, password root or
Right.
whatever. Right?
Yep.
Try a little bit, but don't make that be my focus. It's like note that it's an interesting artifact, but then move on. So like while you have fresh energy and fresh eyes, you can find more interesting threads. I think that ultimately ended up being the better strategy for me is like just find all the kind of octopus style, right? Like tentacles
Yeah.
everywhere, note them all, and then go all right back to in this case view source. So the backup, okay, yeah, backup copy is in big Tom's home folder. So there's another thing. Just gonna make note of that. Backup maybe in Big Tom's home folder. So I'm thinking SSH maybe, right? Big Tom's home folder
Yeah.
or SMB share, something like that. Okay, Richard wants access. Big Tom is the only one with the password. Nick, and this is obviously Nick Burns, right? My processor can only handle one command at a time. That's right out of some of my favorite SNL
Yeah.
sketches. When everybody's yelling at him. If you remember
Right.
that with Jimmy Fallon, he's like, "Oh yeah, hold on, the processor can only handle one command at a time." Okay, Rich will ask nicely. I set you up with admin access if you tell Tom to stop storing important information in the company blog. And let me see. This command goes off a little bit. Richard agrees. Where's the blog again? Nick says, seriously, you losers are hopeless. We hid it in a folder named after the place you noticed after you and Tom Jr. had your big fight. Let me scroll over here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Where you cracked him over the head with a board. It's here if you don't remember. Okay, and this is sounding familiar to me, but here's a
Yeah.
hint.
Yeah.
I think I know exactly. I think I know
Is this like a
exactly
gas station or something
where
like that?
this is going.
I can't remember. Yeah, hilarious. Is linked to a video with just a snip. Is it the gas station fight where they cracked him over the head?
Uh, yeah, let's see here. And I'm having dial-up speeds here.
Yeah.
It's loading. It's just taking a minute. Oh, at the prehistoric forest.
That's
Okay.
okay.
All right. Okay. All right. No thanks. Okay. No thanks. All right. I don't think we need to watch it. But yes. So I think this is this, and the sign tells me. Let me see. Wait. Was there anything else? Um, okay. So it's here. If you don't. Okay. So the in a folder after the place you noticed. Okay. Richard says, "How could I forget?" Okay. So that tells me now we could either fuzz it or just guess, right? That it's prehistoric. I don't know if these face like full forest, or maybe no, maybe well, do like a
No
dash,
space, yeah.
dash, or just no space. Da-da. Oh, winner, 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 chicken dinner.
Son of a son of a
Got it. Oh, you know what? I just remembered too. Now that we're seeing this blog, I forgot to mention. Oops, let me just save that. Um, I forget to mention one thing that I got in the habit of um, doing more when it was like, yes, there's a web port open, go after that. Another common thing in those OSCP VMs, maybe not common anymore, but was to look at robots txt, because that
Oh,
would
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
have
Yep,
those
the
fermented.
directories that were supposed to
Ah,
be, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they'd
Oh,
have.
look, there's already some good stuff though, right?
Yeah, they'd have folders that they wouldn't wanna get crawled, right? But, by you going to those, you'd often get, more, breadcrumbs for things.
Look, you just got a flag
S
right there, Brian.
so we've got oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, let me blow that up a little bit just because that's kind of small for my eyes anyway. So we've got 6 packs of soda, Luke, I Am Your Father, Look Alive, Low Bridge, and Flag Numero Uno. So let me just pop that open in a new thing. Let's go to, whoops, forward backslash. Let's see, flag numero uno. Okay, this is the first of 5 flags in the Callahan auto server. You need them all to unlock the final treasure and fully consider the VM pwned. Flag data is oh, I
Yeah.
don't mean to laugh at my own thing. It's just I really do feel like I'm seeing this for the first time.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
was
like
trying to
that.
remember it, like, what was I thinking?
You know what I mean? That glint of like, what does that mean? Bear claws. That's got to be a reference to is it in Tommy Boy where he's like, I would down bear claws 2 at a time and I get them lodged right in this region here. But I don't know if that's in like a SNL sketch or general Tommy Boy. But let's just start ourselves a little flags section. Uh, one is whoa. Come on back to me. Come on back to me. One is plus. Okay. I'll put this under um, key players. We've got Richard. So far, we got Tommy. Well, we got Big Tom. We got Tom Jr. We got Nick from IT. I'll just call this missed hints. All right. Okay. All right. So bear claws. All right. Good. Let me just check out what the rest of these are. Uh, let's see. We got 6 packs of soda. Um, okay, got a JPEG here. All right. Now I will just for the sake of I'm remembering too from OSCP things. Several times they would have you. There'd be a hint that was just an image, and then you
Yeah.
had to look at what's it called the
Strings or then the EXIF data
EXIF data.
or yeah.
EXIF data. Okay. Let me just start myself a little T boy folder. I'll just collect these in case they come into play later. All right, Luke, I am your father. I have a feeling I know what this image will be if it is. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. All right. Save that guy. Just see what else we got. One more to go. Look alive. No. Look alive. No. Low bridge. All right. Okay. All right. grabbed it. All right, so I think we've exhausted. Okay, we got the flag. We got the three images. Okay, all right, good. So I think I developed bad tab habits when I was going through
Yeah.
OSCP. So I'm just going to try to be good about like
Okay.
closing what we don't need to just calm my own slight OCD or whatever. So let's go back to. So we've figured out we're on the Callahan employee blog. One thing that I don't have, I wanted to ask you about. I don't have it installed right now, but back in the OSCP days, I always had the little add-in or extension Wappalizer,
Oh
it was
yeah.
called,
Yep.
that would tell you like, hey, this is using WordPress, blah blah blah, or .NET, this and that. Is
Yeah.
that you have you used that? Do you still? Is there something better or
I
different?
still use Wappalizer.
Okay, okay,
It's kind of just running in my browser if ever I'm curious. Sometimes on web app pin tests, it's good to know.
okay,
But I found like um, a lot of the web app vulnerabilities are, at least again when it's OSCP related. Um, you're going to look for the version, and sometimes Wappalizer helps, but more often than not, it's in the about of the page or something like that, where there's like, oh, look, it's an oddly specific version of WordPress or one of the WordPress plugins or something like that. So,
okay. All right. Okay, so we've got. Let's see. Maybe I can zoom. Oh, this is fine. So there's a post called "Son of a." Richard, what's the password you put on that protected blog post? Okay. The very next one, protected status of restoring company homepage. Oh, all right. So we probably need to fetch a password. Let's see uh what what comment Tom Jr. Richard left. Hey numbnuts, look at the /Richard folder on this server. I'm sure that picture will jog your memory. Since you have a small brain, see up top in the address bar thingy, erase prehistoric forest and put Richard there instead. Okay. All right. Let's see. I will do a copy and paste, I think. To now, I don't know if that's. Oh, that was, yeah. Get rid of prehistoric forest. Put just Richard. Oh, yep. There we go. We've got a. We've got another. We've got another picture. But that's supposed to. Hold on. What is that? For the password. Oh, we'll jog your memory for the password. All right. Well, I'll save it. Is that to say? I think it. I'm having such weird flashbacks of
flashbacks.
like
It's like,
right of like making the password what is happening in the movie. I think that might be when they're about to hit a deer or something. So I was like, oh, make the password deer, but I believe I backed out of that because that's too specific to the movie.
right.
So let's do. I'll have to look up what tool it is. Maybe it would be good to analyze the data on all those pictures, or specifically Richard, I think, to see if there is like a hint or a password in
Yeah.
that EXIF data.
It seems like I
Uh,
was used to try strings first just to
oh,
see if they
yeah,
were
yeah,
embedded.
yeah.
Um,
Let's do that. Okay, so is it just plain
I
old
think you have to
strings?
give the image. So don't
Oh,
you pipe it? My God, Brian, this is how many years has it been? Um,
see, that's why I thought it might be kind of fun. Strings and options and file. Okay, so maybe I'll just try. Let's see, what was this called? Shocked Richard. Shocked Richard.
yeah, okay.
Whoops, whoops, lost my. Uh,
And I remember there were switches that I would use for words only of a certain length and
oh,
like
okay.
non-printable character. I mean, there's a bunch of things you could do, but out of the gate, like,
Let me do it that way.
and I think just a reminder, it's trying to parse all of the strings out of the image.
Oh, got it, got it. Okay, so here's at least some human readable stuff. Paramount Pictures credit, blah blah blah. Let me keep going here and see. Okay, so I see some, yeah, RGB, all sorts of stuff about the image, and I feel like in some of these pictures you would get clearly something would jump out as
Yeah,
like
yep.
a hash or a, but I don't know. I mean, lengthwise, these don't look.
Yeah, it seems like the switch I would use would also be greater than, because you never saw a password that was less than 6 characters, so it was like, "Oh, I only wanna see printable characters greater than 6 or anything," but we'll see if anything jumps out.
Yeah, I'll just rip through it here quick and see if anything looks good. But I see a lot of. I don't see like something that I definitely would have put in like thick candy shell or
Right.
guy in a little coat, something like that. I can see definitely
Big
putting in
guy
there.
in a little coat.
A little coat. All right. Well, maybe for giggles, I'll do. Is it just? Is it like Sif? Uh, Sif. Uh, search Xif. Xif. Oh, do I want to install Xif? Okay,
Exit tool?
I'm gonna have to hit the Google Xif. Kali image. Xif probe.
I think it's exif tool, isn't it? Oh,
Oh,
just
Xif tool.
is that the one?
Ooh, okay. Exif tool. I'll just try no options for the
Yeah.
fun of it, just to see if it gives. Oh, that's a little more. That's a little more pretty. Okay. Oh, right away I was like, ooh, a hash maybe, but that's a digest. Oh, whoops. I guess this didn't go screen by screen. Let me go to that. Let's just go from the top. Okay, Shock Richard. Here's its size. It's a JPEG. Ooh, hello, Joe.
User
User
comments.
comment. I just want to compare that to what do we call this again? Except tool. I just want to compare to like one of the other ones. How about Scream? Yeah. See, for that I see no user
Yeah,
comment.
there's
So,
there's a
oh,
comment.
oh, was there?
Lab
Oh,
C.
okay. The other one was like user comment, wasn't it? It looked.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only reason I did that is just to
Right,
see
right.
does it look like something was manually entered, and I believe. Let's see, where was it? User comment is that. Okay,
Yeah.
that looks like a familiar link. That
Exif tool.
very
I had to
well.
Google that really quick because I haven't used exif tool either in forever.
Good call. Yeah.
Like,
So that must, yeah, obviously built right into Kali. This is a
it's like
beautiful.
exif, and Google's like, "Do you mean exif tool?" Yes, of course I do.
Yes, you know me so well, Google. So I believe that to be a hash, and to test that theory, I don't know if there's a better site these days. This was in my OSCP bookmarks forever. Is let's just paste that in. I'm not a
And I think there
robot.
was some chatter on Slack, right? About, was it Crack Station or something you guys were chatting about? I had so much trouble keeping up with all my different.
Oh, yeah, what I was, tangent but related, so it's fine. It's illegal. I'll allow it. It was, this one that, I was so bummed because I've needed it for, like, 2 tests in the last couple of
Oh,
weeks, and it's down
down. Got
for
it.
getting those funky, NTLM1 SSP hashes
Right.
or, tokens, yeah. But let's go ahead. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's definitely we're definitely on the right track. Yeah, yeah, Spanky. Okay, so I
But
believe
it's
you've.
funny. So
Oh, go ahead.
your brain now immediately jumped to cracking it because it looks like it's encrypted or hashed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and maybe it's because 'cause I've been staring at NTLM hashes a lot this week. I was
Exactly.
like, "This looks about that length, so we'll
Yeah.
throw it
Yep.
in." But this
And
does.
so,
I think in most cases this thing is pretty smart to just you throw in something, and I think it's I didn't even have to pick the hash type. I think it's smart enough to go, "Oh, okay, dum dum, you meant," you know.
but I'm trying to remember, like back in the OSCP days, you would do like hash ID, I think, and like, what is this?
Oh.
And then, because I would often wonder, is this the password or is this a um, is it already hashed or something like that? So,
Yeah. Is that anything?
yeah, it could be anything, Brian. It could be anything. But MD2, MD5, usually pick the top two up there. Um, and it tries to do it based on the length and the makeup. But anyways, that was kind of some of
Yeah.
the stuff that you were like, is this a password? I'm frustrated. Why isn't this working? Oh, it's probably a hash and we have to crack it. Are we going to use John? Are we going to use Hashcat? Of course, OSCP style, like, hey, this is not something you're worried about. Dump it right in, um, hash crack.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of that mindset of like test taking expediency versus, because you made like, well, I'm just going to throw this on Hashcat real quick and try and crack it. And it's like, there's these things that make you more efficient, and using Crackstation or something else is so much faster than like getting Hashcat all set up with the command line, trying to figure out what type of a hash it is. Like your instinct to just jump right there to see, has this already been cracked, much more
Yeah.
efficient from a vuln hub type machine, or hack the box. So
Oh yeah. Um, are you seeing the are you seeing the comments at all? There's a comment from somebody that I know that says, "I love how Joe pulls you out of
out
T
of
Town."
T-Tone.
That
Nice.
that may
Because
or may not.
that never happens at home, right? So that
Uh,
person that commented never has to do that. Like, Brian, come back.
yeah. I usually
Mhm.
I think she lets me go on the tangents, but when I see the eyes glaze over as if
Yeah,
rigor
she's
mortis
like,
is
"I don't
setting
even
in.
know how you got here."
Yeah. She tolerates, like, when I
Mhm.
do if I get domain admin on a test and I do the domain admin dance, she'll
Oh,
tolerate
yeah,
that and then
yeah.
feign interest, like, "Oh my gosh, oh, really? It was a pass the hash attack? Wow, please tell me more."
Amazing.
And I'll go, "I know you're just pretending, but let me tell you the rest of the
Yeah, I
story here."
gotta
And
tell
then
somebody, and it's so late.
she'll just do slow clap and like, "That's really
Yeah.
cool. Can we talk about literally anything else right now?"
At least you're still getting the slow clap and not like that, you know?
Oh, yeah, right. Or just the smallest golf clap in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, honey, shouldn't you be at work right now? You shouldn't be,
Oh,
although
I
I do
am at work.
although I do tease her. I was just like, "Oh," I was like, "Remember on last week's podcast, we talked about this, that, and the other?" And she's like, I don't." Now she's honest with me. She's like, I don't listen to any of
I
them,
don't listen to that.
but I
Why
don't."
would Okay, geez. Talk
Okay,
about
sorry.
Tangent Town.
Yeah, we got there, and that was partially my wife's fault. Okay, so look at the Richards for. Let's see, where were we at? Oh, we did that, and then okay, we were looking for what's the password on that protected post. That's right, we were looking at the comments for that. So now if I back up and go to the password protected post and type in Spanky.
And by the
And
way, like on most of these in Hack the Box or something, this is where I would get stuck a lot. And even on the OSCP, where you're like, it's right here in front of me. Why can I not figure out where the password is? And like, there's that thing that you often talked about in your OSCP, when you did your post, like, hey, here's things that help me get up, take a walk. And I know this is not supposed to be an OSCP, but it's more about, revisiting Tommy Boy. But the mindset of like, the one of the biggest things you have to figure out for OSCP and even just hacking in general is when to walk away and like take a breath and
yeah,
reorient yourself to like, obviously it's password protected, there's a clue here, and that doesn't always lend itself to pin testing, but
yeah,
there's something to be said for trying to sleep on it and get it out of your mind, not fret all night long about, I know if I just go back to my machine right now I could figure this out. It's like, nope, put it down, walk
yeah,
away, take a different path, even take a different approach. There's that, one of my other mentors, Dan, would always be like, put it out of your mind, just stop going down this path. I mean, that definition of insanity where you just keep, brute forcing the password with burp or something else, or one of the other password brute forcers, like, that's not what they intended. They intended you to find it somewhere else. So go look somewhere else. Don't keep doing the
yeah.
same thing and hoping that you're just going to stumble on it. So,
Oh yeah, and I feel like that preaches to me directly. I only got good at that, I would say, in the last few years, and yeah, it's something to be said of just going getting some fresh air, taking a quick bike ride, and
yeah.
like just you'll come back and be like, "Oh, I see this I see new possibilities that I didn't see even though I was, just in the
And then
weeds.
the like, "Oh, how did I miss that?"
Oh, that's right, and that's I
It's
think
like the best and the worst, right?
yeah, exactly. That's the biggest case I think that can be made for taking those breaks is like you will go, "Oh my gosh, I saved myself so much time because I was just down." Yeah, I was down a very unfruitful path. But so we got the Spanky
Yeah,
passwords. We've unlocked this post. It says Michelle and
Michelle's
Tommy. This
new
is effed up.
character.
Yeah. Yes. I'm currently working to restore the company's online ordering system, but we're having some problems getting it restored from backup. Unfortunately, only Big Tom had the passwords to log into the system. I can't find his passwords anywhere. All I can find so far is a note from our IT guy, Nick, whose last day was yesterday. Oh, geez.
That's something new we learned.
Saying, hey, Richie, so you asked me to do a write up of everything I know about the Callahan server so the next moron who is hired to support you idiots can get up to speed faster. Here's everything I know. You guys are all hopeless sheep. The Callahan Auto website is usually pretty stable, but if for some reason the page is ever down, you guys will probably go out of business. But thanks to me, there's a backup called Callahan back that you can just rename to index.html and everything will be good again. Okay, so that's probably the final thing if we get to this point. Okay, rename this to index.html. Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be great if all prod servers that was it? Just
Right, right.
just a static flat.
Click here,
Uh,
dummy. No.
Click here, yeah. Just restore the BAK file, and everything will be good again. Okay, important. You have to do this under Big Tom's account via SSH to perform this restore. Warning: Big Tom always forgets his account password.
Warning number 2.
Warning number two: I screwed up his system account when I created on the server, so it's not called what it should be called. I can't remember or don't care, but just look at the list of users on the system and you'll figure it out. Oh, okay. Big Tom always forgets his account password. Okay. I screwed up his account on the server, so it's not what it should be. Alrighty. I can't remember, don't care, but just look at the list of users on the system, you'll figure it out. All right. I'm not, I don't remember what to go with that. But I left a few other bits of information in my home folder, which the new guy can access via FTP. Oh, except I should mention that the FTP server is super flaky, and I haven't had the time, i.e., I don't give a fat crap to fix it. Basically, I couldn't get it running on the standard port. Okay, FTP. Yeah. So let me just go back to my
Yeah.
Nmap results. Oh, I guess did those roll off here? Oh, shoot. I guess I should just. That was at the very top, I think, wasn't it? No. Oh, different tab. Huh, I thought I had it.
Oh, you closed all the tabs, so
I closed it. Ah, darn it. And whoops, Namp, Winamp. Okay. Just, just get that going one more time. Couldn't get it going on the standard port. I remember as Telnet was not open on FTP or
right.
21, so it must be someplace else. Maybe that high port. Couldn't get running. I put it on a port that most scanners would get exhausted looking for. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
your
that's
tag right there for the P minus P.
yeah. Yeah. That's everything, right? That's
Yeah.
65,000 and change. Okay. Um,
But check it out. That port's gone, right?
Gone.
That
Yeah.
funky high port.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
Making memories coming back. To make
Yes.
matters more fun, the server seems to go online at the top of the hour for 15 minutes, then down for 15 minutes, then up again, then down again. So that mean it would have been up from 1 to 1:15,
Yeah.
down from 1:15 to 1:30,
Yeah.
up from 1:30 to 1:45. Oh, and we just missed it. It's
Yes.
gonna be down for 15 minutes. Okay. Now it's somebody else's problem. That's sort of an homage to like how good it admittedly can feel when you're working for an organization, you're the IT person, and there's just some problems you never solve.
Yeah.
And then when you get that offer to go somewhere else, you're like, I know there's going to be new problems there, but these old ones are no
Yeah. I'm
longer
so
my
tired of seeing this
concern.
problem that
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So I guess looking at that port is not possible right now.
So this is a good time to interject and say one of the great things about Reconnoiter or some of those other ones, or even Nmap for that matter, is redirecting your output to a file to be reviewed later because the last thing you want to
oh
be
yeah.
doing is running these commands over and over again
Yes.
because it wastes time, right? So,
Yes, especially on a pen test where an Nmap scan may kick off an alert. I think it just I don't want to be the guy who like keeps generating alerts for the same things to
Yeah.
make it look
Let
like,
me
oh, I
just
didn't
run
take.
this again.
And just on that note, the habit that I've kind of been in is something like this. The TAC O capital A output
Right.
will give you that output in like Nmap format, greppable Nmap format,
Yeah,
and
which is the
XML, I think.
XML. Yeah.
Which then, like XML, for example, you can feed into Witness Me or some of these other tools
Right.
to then go out and take screenshots of
Yep.
things. So yeah, I'll do that while we're yeah. Now if I do ls, there they are. There's my three Tommy scans. Um, okay, so that weird port's going to be down for now. That's fine, but looks like there's more here. You asked me to leave you with my account password for the server, and instead of laughing in your face, which is what I wanted to do, I just reset my account, Nick Burns, in case you're dumb and can't remember, to a very, very easy to guess password. I removed SSH access because I don't want you calling me in case of an emergency, but my creds still work on FTP. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking, and probably can't do it today then because we'll be running up against
Yeah.
the hour. But I think when that funky high port is open, looks like we can log in with username Nick Burns and something like
Some
empty
easy password.
password Nick Burns. Okay. Um, your new fresh fish can connect using my credentials, uh, and if she has half a brain. Okay, looks like there's a little grammatical error there. All fine. Good luck, schmucks. LOL, Nick. All right. Um, Michelle, tell me what the f are we gonna do if this site stays down? We go out of business.
Hmm.
Okay, so no comments there. Let me just see the on the rest of the posts here. All right, here's a post about Tom Senior passing away.
Yeah.
Informed company. The main site is down. I'll be working with Michelle and Tommy to restore ASAP. All right, good. All right, no comments. Okay, hello from the numbers guys. Richard here, reminding everybody to get their expense reports and receipts to me by the end of each week if you like getting paid. This is just a reminder for Tommy, who is a huge fat waste of space. Ha ha ha.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
All right. Let me check comments too in case there's shut up, Richard. All right. I actually heard you getting fatter while you typed that. All right. Okay. And then last thing, announcing the blog. Okay. I don't see. Do we have an edit button on this thing? Richard, are you there? Oh, you told me this wasn't a chat program. Forgot. Okay. All right. All right. And then one comment there. Well put, boss. Oh,
Oh,
oh yeah.
gotta keep looking.
Okay. Look at that. We put 2 flags on the board before the
Yeah.
end of the hour. We're awesome. Um, Now I'm not sure if that means right on the route or prehistoric forest. Prehistoric forest. Oh, nice, dude. You've got 2 of 5 flags. Keep it up. This one is Zelensky with some leet speak
Lead
inside of it.
speak.
I love it. Flippin' love it. Let's see. Where's my notes? Oh, on the desktop. Okay. Notes. No, not that. Let's do this.
Not that one.
Let's move notes. Dot. Oh, no, we're at it. Whoops. Oh, T boy. Uh, oh, did I put it? Whoops. That's why doing this fun. Okay, let's move notes to here. And now let's nano the notes.
That's better.
Go 2. Put 2 on the board. Oh, that might be a good place to stop since we can't get to that other port to bang at. This would
And
be a good place.
I swear it was like a super 65,004 something. I don't know if there was any reference to it, but rewind the video, Brian, and we'll take a look. Can we
Let's
get that on
stop the
replay,
recording.
please?
Yeah. But I did want to let's see, where was that last scan? There was though this guy was open.
Yeah.
So maybe just in the last couple minutes here, why don't we at least let's see. Okay, too many things open. That's fine. Let's turn this into 10 dot oh no, 3 um 8 oh 8008.
8,008, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
What?
What is this? Let's move on. Okay. This is only for
Save
Nick's super secret stuff. If you don't know where to go from here, you're not super elite enough. Leave now. Only me and Steve Jobs are allowed to look at this stuff. LOL, Nick. Okay, let's do what we did before. just take a look at. Okay,
Yeah, nothing secret.
okay, nothing secret. If you don't know to go from here, you're not super lead enough.
I feel
Okay.
like that looks like a password too, but
Yeah.
so
Oh.
so when it comes to guessing Nick's FTP password,
Oh, good.
maybe I don't
Good call though. Yep. 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 Oops. I could just leave this open in a tab, I suppose, but I like opening and closing it.
Yeah, yeah, just practice those command line skills and typing.
Okay. I'm just gonna put to do. Try to connect to FTP on funky high port with some variation of Nick
Nick
as the
and
username.
yeah.
Like Nick Burns. Password will probably be easy, like admin blank root
Nick.
Nick
Nick.
Burns, Nick Burns, etc. Um, okay, FTP only open
Top of the hour and
top
15
of
minutes.
the
Yeah.
hour and uh, at the half hour mark then, right? And from 30 to 45 mins into the hour, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what they said. It's open for 15, closed, open, and then now closed. Okay. All right. Well, hey, look at this. For a couple of guys who, well, yeah, you've like never seen this, right? And I haven't seen it for 7 years. I think we did
Yeah.
pretty good, if I do say so myself. Oh, and I missed a comment from Delete. That was from a while ago. It says, "I know what you mean." I don't know if that was maybe from the comment of you leave a job in flames and you leave all the problems behind. Not saying I've ever done that, Joe. I would never do something like
No.
that. But some
No.
buddies of mine were
Fully
very
documented. Yeah, they told me some terrible things they did.
right, fully documented in OneNote, to the T before you leave a gig. Um, all right, cool. Well, hey, hopefully,
I don't know
folks
if we're going
found
to
this fun.
finish this, so I am going to promise that I will not look at the spoilers
Okay.
of the documentation. I have not done that, and I will not do that, just on the rare off chance that we continue to attack this box. So
Yes, if you're game to do it again, I would love to do it. I have no idea what's on the podcast schedule for next week. So if you're like,
yeah,
hey, I want to do some more of this, we'll do it.
yeah,
Otherwise, maybe just in a future week we'll pick up. And I
yeah.
will, I will, I will not look either. I'm very tempted. Uh, I'm very tempted to look just because I feel like
Well, once you start on something, it's like, I got to finish.
I gotta finish it. Yeah, but I'm just gonna pause the VM here
Pause
and
the VM and leave it.
leave it alone. And yeah, hopefully folks enjoyed that. Yeah, anything? Yeah, any closing comments, thoughts from you? Anything cool you've seen, like security news wise, security tip, a command line shortcut that rocks? Just anything to leave us on, Joe?
Totally random and
Do it.
only tangentially related. That was a big word and I couldn't even say it, but related to what we're doing here. I
Yeah.
saw somebody keeps tweeting about pen test GPT and saying that
Oh
it can now
no.
solve many of the like hack the box VMs and stuff like that. I want to test it on like now with like this Tommy Boy machine or something. There's no way it could get it because it's so random, but that's something that I keep seeing come up over and over again. That's got me scratching my head about, um, what is it? What can it do? I don't know about you.
Ah.
Again, totally unrelated. I was thinking of that because I kept seeing those tweets about Pintest GPT just over and over again. But
Ah.
I've been using uh, chat. I can't even say it. But anyways, I use Google's Bard, and because it has more up to date information for like doing security policies and stuff, it's freaking amazing. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh
So
well.
yesterday, I needed to reference a security policy, and I'm like, "Hey, Bard, can you write me a security policy with this, and this, and this?" And it spit out a beautiful policy for me, and I was like, "Thank you."
Well, maybe that's a future, not to put pressure on you, maybe
Yeah,
that's a future thing we could cover. I feel like I'm kind of the guy who's like shouting at the cloud and I always tell my friends I'm the guy that like is just getting into the bands that other people have listened to forever,
yeah. Where you
it's
been,
just like
Brian?
it's like Joe, have you heard the Eagles? Like they have a lot of
Yeah.
songs. But like I finally started using Chat GPT a few weeks ago and I asked for in plain language And granted, it's probably simple to the person who knows a little bit about code, but I asked for a PowerShell snippet that would do a specific kind of batch task, and it got it 99.5% there. There was just like one little variable I needed to change, and I was like, oh boy, if it can do these little
Oh,
things, then yeah, what does
yeah.
it mean for the future of
It's
pen
been
testing?
writing a lot of code for me, that's for sure. Especially when there's like, I don't want to say obscure, but like there's a product that I work on that um it'll talk to Windows machines, but it has to be wrapped in Python. So you have to send it in Python, but you want it to execute PowerShell. So,
Oh,
you know, Bard, ChatGPT, I need you to write a PowerShell command that does this, but wrap it in a Python wrapper.
holy
Or I mean,
cow.
and the iterative nature of like saying this code doesn't work, here's what I think is broke, or here's the error I get, and the fact that it can reiterate over that code and fix it, simplify it, document it. I think, I mean, we're early days, but I feel like I can put developer on my resume now because I can use ChatGPT to write some okay code, and even paste code in there is broken, and like, hey, analyze this code and tell me why it won't do X. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that's
so
cool. Well, maybe we could do a episode just on that and just kind of live playing with it, right? And sort of showing off like some helpful things you've seen it do. Cause I didn't even think about that.
yeah,
Pasting in broken code and being like, hey, help me out and getting help.
yeah.
That's
What's wrong with this? And
scary and
change this
amazing.
from Python to Rust, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, really appreciate you joining, especially
Yeah.
with, 2 minutes to spare, and no prep. And, but this was, I mean, I had fun, and would definitely do it again with you if you're up for it. So,
Sounds great. I'm
uh,
about 1 minute away from being late to my
oh,
next meeting, so I'm gonna hop off and jump to that.
okay, you go for it, and I'll send everybody out with a little bumper video here, and we'll see you next time, Joe, and
Sounds
see
good. Thanks,
everybody.
Brian.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
You've been watching or listening to 7 Minute Security, a weekly podcast focused on pen testing, blue teaming, and building a career in security. For more episodes like this, visit 7ms.us. And for information about our consulting services, visit 7minsec.com.